The definition of ghosting is the practice of ending a personal relationship with someone suddenly and without any explanation, withdrawing from all communication and cutting ties. If you've ever been ghosted, you know that it's a painful process. You don't know why. You have no explanation to why they left, and you begin to question your validity and your value. If you've been ghosted and you'd like to know how to overcome this in a healthy way, you'll want to watch this video for simple steps of getting through it, understanding, and moving on. Hey friends, glad to be back. And thank you for tuning in to watch this video. I wanted to create this video because a lot of people are being ghosted lately, and it hurts and it stings and it feels really bad, and that feeling of abandonment, it's scary. And so we need to have the tools to overcome that feeling, and we also need to have the tools to answering the questions why, right? Because a lot of times we think it's about us, that we weren't good enough, or we weren't valuable enough, not pretty enough, whatever, not handsome enough, whatever that looks like. But in reality, when we begin to question ourselves, we're missing the point of what really took place. So I'm going to give you 5 simple steps of things that you can do to overcome being ghosted and to feel better about the situation. The first thing you want to do out of personal self-respect is you don't want to call or text them again. Okay, you've already called, you've already texted, there is no response. Perhaps even in the text messaging you saw that they read it, but they didn't even bother to respond. Okay, that's painful. But don't continue to put yourself out there like that, okay? They're obviously avoiding contact with you, and you pushing that is just going to leave for you feeling even more empty. So we've got to have some willpower here, okay? We need to know what we're dealing with. You're being ghosted, and we need to salvage some self-respect. So don't text, don't call. The second thing that I want you to think about too is if they walk out like that, they ghost you like that, then they weren't good for you anyway. I mean, consider it as though, you kind of dodged a bullet, right? Because they would have ultimately done something to hurt you or ultimately left you at some point. And, a lot of times we think that it's our problem, our fault, but, we need to look at the fact that this person, for whatever reason, right, could not be honest and truthful with us. And so they had to cut communication, okay? And if they can't communicate or be honest with you, you definitely don't want someone like that in your life, okay? And if they could leave like that easily without caring about your feelings, then that's definitely not somebody that's valuable and definitely not someone that's thinking about you and your feelings. The third thing that I want you to become aware of is to watch out for cognitive dissonance, okay? Cognitive dissonance is something that we do, right, in our own mind to facilitate answers and to get some sort of reality or commonality or put some meaning into a situation to understand something better. So when someone ghosts us, right, we begin to think, well, everybody's bad. Okay, that's one thought. Or the people that we meet on dating sites are all bad, right? Or the people that we meet on social media are all bad. Or we rationalize their behavior, right? Or we ignore it, right? So we rationalize it. Well, they must have done this because of this. They must have done that because of this. Or we ignore it and we really we still have the pain within us, but we haven't really dealt with it. Or we turn it in on ourselves and say, I must have done something wrong. I must be not good enough. I must not be a good enough catch for this person because otherwise this wouldn't have happened. Okay, so I want you to be aware of that because that's where the mind starts to go, right? Well, there's no way someone would just stop communicating with me if I was all that. You see what I'm saying? They would just not stop communicating with me because we have all these questions, and so we're trying to rationalize why would somebody do that. And I want you to be really careful when you're doing that because usually we turn it within ourselves or we begin to make universal beliefs that are not correct, i.e. everybody on the dating site sucks, or everybody is mean, or I don't want to ever do this again. So we internalize that and we have a lot of fear of putting ourselves back out there. The next thing I want you to do is to realize that it's not about your value. When we get ghosted, we begin to doubt ourselves, worrying, what is wrong with me? Why did they leave? There must be something wrong with me because they left. But when someone ghosts you, it shows that they actually have the problem, not you. They don't have the emotional intelligence necessary to have communication and to actually tell you how they're feeling. Perhaps they also are afraid of commitment, right? And they didn't have the ability to convey that. Or they were wanting something like casual sex, or they could have even been married. So the thing is, we don't really know what happened, but we know that they were unable to be honest and truthful. Because if they would have been, we would have understood the situation and we could have parted ways with maybe not being happy about it, but we would have had the knowledge to understand why the relationship is going to break up from here. Last but not least, I want to remind you that oftentimes when people are ghosted, they might turn around and ghost somebody in their future. So I don't want you to continue this negative, abusive cycle, because I think that ghosting is abusive because you're left there holding the bag, not knowing the answers to any of your questions. And so remembering that it's the best to be honest with somebody, to be straightforward with them and tell them how you're feeling and what you think about the relationship so they can know. Because remember, when you got ghosted, it hurt really bad. Do you want to hurt someone else like that? And so we need to be honest and forthright with our emotions, and we need to be honest with them so they understand where they stand. We don't want to give somebody false hope. We don't want to lead them on. And so people deserve the truth. So if you have been ghosted, stop that vicious cycle and just own up to your own feelings. And you know, the interesting part about it is people might not be happy. Someone might not be happy that you say, hey, I want to end the relationship. They might not be happy with you. They might not even talk with you, but you did the right thing. And if you're honest and forthcoming, in the end, they'll respect you for it, okay? And that's the key. You might not be friends, but somebody respects you from stepping up to the plate and doing the right thing. And so that also commands attention and respect. And so remembering just to stop this negative cycle, because when we do it to other people, we're hurting them as well. And we don't want them to hurt like we've hurt before. I hope the content in this video has helped you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and give a like here if this video has helped as well. And in the comments section, I want to hear the most outlandish, craziest ghosting stories you have. Okay, I've been ghosted before, and I've even been ghosted in business situations, not even in relationships. And so it totally came out of left field. So I'm interested in hearing some of your stories. We can learn from it and we can have some fun. And I'll even put mine in the comment section as well. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, for watching this content, and for sharing this content. And don't forget to live your true life.